everybody had their seatbelts on. Okay, like whatever, and open the airlock. Like, remember, everybody, no backflips on me. Be like, fucking do a back tuck, hit my knee in a rock, and
oh god. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. We're so dedicated to talk about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, Juicy Kazoom.
And I'm exposing Jesse as a
flat
earther. He's a flat earther, everyone. His pizza world, his the whole pizza thing, it's all indoctrinating us to believe that the earth is a pizza shape. With the crust and everything, dude.
With the crust. Gosh darn it.
Your ice wall crust. Dude, I've been trying to get Flurf bingo, but I can't.
Flurf bingo?
Yeah, I made a bingo card because I've still been playing Lawnmower Sim.
Yeah. Listening to some of the debates.
Yeah, and we have I made a bingo card that as I have a lot of entries that I didn't fit into the bingo card that I'm going to add in as soon as I get bingo, but I'm trying to get this bingo and I can't. Maybe I could go over some of the entries.
Oh,
on the
yes.
bingo card.
So did you make the bingo card, or is this like a?
I made it.
Okay.
I mean, there are other. I got the idea from this one guy I watched, MC Tune. He has his own like bingo cards, but yeah, I ended up making my own. The current little debate we're watching right now, I've only gotten four of them so far. So the first one is that gravity isn't real. The second one is
starting off strong.
Anything is CGI. Anything and everything is CGI.
Anything? Okay.
Like the amount of times that people are like, okay, what would it take for you to believe? Like, what evidence would you need to believe that the Earth is round? They're like, show me a picture of X, either Earth from space or water being curved or whatever. And then you show them a picture and they go, well, that's
CGI.
obviously fake. Yeah. Obviously fake. It's like, okay. And then actually one time a guy pulled up a website that had like a real or CGI, like AI generated image of like people and all kinds of other things, and the guy got it right like 42% of the time, which is like worse than random chance. It's like, so you can't just look at a photo and determine that it's fake.
Yeah, correct.
So then the next one I got is I can see it with my own eyes. Like
yeah.
When I look and I see and I see it flat.
The classic.
I can see it with my own eyes,
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other one, the last one that I've gotten checked off here is why don't you fall off the bottom? Unironically, like the guy was like people in Australia. Seriously, like you think it was a joke.
God.
But like he's like literally. So you mean to tell me that the people standing here
don't just
or
fall
even
into
the people
space.
you say that there are people in Antarctica, this is physically impossible. And he had the guy go like, okay, what's up and what's down? And after some like back and forth, he finally got him to establish that down is towards the center of the Earth.
Yeah.
So he's like, so which way is down? You're not going to fall down because that way's down.
Yep.
So there's no like absolute up or down in space.
Yeah.
But he still was just like, but why doesn't he fall off? It's like, no, dude, just extend the logic that you have.
Oh my God.
A few others that I have was that Einstein was wrong. Or that Newton was wrong because Einstein proved him wrong. So it's either Einstein was right or Einstein was wrong.
Yeah, both are on the board. Okay.
The Freemasons, which if
we
you
went
subscribe to the podcast Patreon,
boy, did we go crazy with the Freemasons.
I talked about my history believing conspiracy theories, my introduction into the Freemasons, my ascension to third degree master Freemason. and we talked about the ritual. It involved taking my pants off and a coffin, and I said the whole thing.
It was a banger episode. So
yeah, you're gonna want
Patreon.com/the podcast pod.
Exactly. Yep. And someone was actually asking earlier. Someone just asked if I want to go back and watch like the episodes, the first like I don't know, 15 or something episodes.
Of
its own channel. They're up there as well.
Yep. Yep.
So there's that. And a few other things. Basically, you're a shill, just like calling you a shill.
Just a blanket.
You're paid by NASA.
Clearly.
Or whatever.
Clearly.
Pressure requires a container. They always say you can't have air pressure without a container. This is where the dome, a huge part of what the dome comes from. Is
I've never heard that one before.
Because, oh, wait, I have to add this to the list of things to add. Because what do vacuums do? They suck.
They suck.
So naturally, if there was you can't have a vacuum adjacent to Earth because it would just suck the air away.
It would suck, yeah.
They don't realize that there's a pressure gradient.
Yeah.
And that's created by gravity.
Yeah.
And that space isn't a perfect vacuum. But, whatever. That the stars don't move and have never moved, even though they have, even though we've literally measured them for thousands of years, and all the measurements show that they move. Not just in the sky, but like that they think that when you look up at the stars, that's the same picture that everyone has seen forever, which is like the North Star hasn't always been the North Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. They have a boner for Nikola Tesla.
Really?
For some reason, like he
was he a famous flurf? I don't know.
No, but he was like they just love the whole he was the martyr that went against the scientific establishment. And even though he had a bunch of pseudoscientific bullshit beliefs, like a lot of people did. Newton believed in alchemy.
Yeah.
He was wrong about that.
Yep.
Because we didn't know shit.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's one that moonlight is its own special light that's cold.
Cold light.
Yep.
Okay.
And the kind of experiment that they would do, this exact thing is obvious enough for them to understand why the experiment is flawed, but all of the other examples that are functionally the same as what I'm about to say aren't as obvious, so they don't see it.
Yeah.
Where let's say you have your hand here, right? And there's moonlight hitting your hand, and all that is sun reflected light.
Yeah.
And you do this to block the light, and you put a thermometer there, and it gets warmer because you're blocking the cold light without realizing.
Oh my god!
But they do the same thing with if you go out to a patio table with an umbrella.
Yeah.
And they don't realize the area under the umbrella is marginally warmer because it's a small, it's like a kind of sort of partially self-contained area.
Yeah.
But so it's functionally the same as this, right?
Yep.
There's do your own research. Don't listen to me. Do your own research. And what they mean is go to a Flurf website or Flurf YouTube video. The ISS is fake. It's just a plane because space doesn't exist and satellites don't exist. So when you can actually look up, if you have a proper camera and whatever, and you time it right, you can look and see the fucking International Space Station go overhead, and it's just a plane.
What do they think the stars are?
So the stars,
just
the
like
sun,
a PNG
the moon, the planets,
image.
They are flat luminaries. They're two-dimensional spotlights on a dome.
Okay, so they think the entire universe exists within the dome.
Yeah,
there's nothing outside of. Okay.
No. Now again, that's a simplification because not all Flurfs are created equal.
Correct.
There's no model. There's no map. There's no model.
They can agree on. Yeah.
Because none of it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
A flat earther came in chat yesterday, actually, and I basically was like, okay, can you tell me like, what is your model? Do you have like a model, like a physical model of what you think the universe is, right? And what he basically said was, well, none of them work. None of the sort of models work, because when you look at a flat map, it doesn't work. And then when you look at the globe projections, they also don't work. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. You just said globe projection. What that is the globe model and like a Mercator projection, which is making it flat.
Yeah.
Which is by definition
breaking
it has to distort.
Yeah.
The only way that you can get an accurate model is like a 1-to-1 representation. This is the only time you're going to get a correct representation where the distances between locations and the size and shape and their proportions are all
correct.
Equal.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like, wait, so you're comparing bad with bad. I'm like, what about a globe?
Yeah.
and he never responded in chat ever again. They love Walt Disney. There's some connection between Walt Disney, the Nazis, like Stanley Kubrick, NASA, and it all being a fake thing.
Oh yeah, well the Stanley Kubrick, he filmed it, right? He staged the moon landing. He's the guy that the Hollywood guy that they got. Yeah.
Exactly. And then there's 666. Like they see, anytime 3 6s exist in a number in science at all, it's in any unit of measurement, it's there. Obviously, they're doing it in front of our eyes.
Yeah. Has there been? Because I can't deal with this. Like these, like I just implode. Has there is there ever like debates where it's like, okay, you give us, because the questions are always like, show me a picture, show me the proof, this is a conspiracy. It's like, show me a picture. Go show me a picture of the ice wall. Like, why is it feels like it's always on everything I hear, it's always on the globetards.
It's casting doubt because they are either uneducated or incredulous or whatever.
Because it's like, just show me a picture of the ice wall, dude. Like, show me a picture.
Here's the answer. We can't go to the ice wall because of the Antarctic Treaty. You will get shot down.
NASA
you will
and the KGB.
NASA and the KG. You can't go there.
How convenient.
Yeah,
dude. When, like, how? If I was like a billionaire or Elon Musk, like I would get the whole I would get like the top dogs of the flat earthers and just send them up, dude.
Yeah, you know what
send
happened,
them up.
There'd be an accident, and it would explode, right? And then that would be even more proof that like they assassinated all the fucking heads of the whatever. You know what I mean? Like it would be that would be the luck that there would be an accident, unintentional, and it would just feed the fire. So someone said something really interesting, and they said like, you're never going to change any Flurf's minds.
Yeah.
I don't watch them because I expect the minds to be changed. I learned a shit ton about physics,
for sure,
about chemistry, about and about psychology, right? But think about maybe 50 years, maybe 30 years.
I was just going to say this.
When commercial space travel is ubiquitous.
Yes, when like you can just buy a ticket to the moon. Yeah.
Because when everybody has been, at that point, what's going to happen? The number of flat earthers will stay a constant number until they die. There will be no more new flat earthers.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, and because I get what you're saying, I would learn a lot watching them too. Because realistically, they could ask me a bunch of questions I don't have answers for. I don't know how. True. I don't know how to detail how the atmosphere works. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know the gravity equations. Like, so I would learn a lot, figuring those things out or researching them. But there will come a time where you don't need to. It would be like, I've been to the moon.
Yeah,
I don't have to explain anything. Like, there are answers to your questions, but it's like, I've seen it. Like, you know what I mean?
The only people that will deny it will be the extreme crazy people, the ones that have like so mentally ill that they're like the unfortunate ones that are like homeless, yelling things at you in the street. Because then they'll say, well, either they won't they won't have enough money or know anybody with enough money that has actually done it. That has actually been there.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, yeah. So I mean, it's really sad. But so yesterday, I actually watched like the biggest documentary about the flat Earth like phenomenon. I thought I had watched it, and then yesterday, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I watched it, and I went and watched it. I'm like, I hadn't seen it.
Is it the Netflix one?
Yeah, I think it's called Behind the Curve.
Yeah, something like that.
And I have to say, something actually did change a little bit in the way that I see things. So at the end, yeah, Behind the Curve. At the end, what they end up doing, there's like kind of a montage, and there's a couple of things happening at once. One of the things that they're talking about is there's like a scientist that's at like a convention, like a science kind, not really a convention, it's like a get together at like a bar or whatever, but there's a bunch of scientists there that he's talking to. And he was basically saying, like, we need to do everything we can to not exclude these people. The more you mock them and call them stupid, and harass them and whatever, you just push them further into the fringes. You make them feel, it just reinforces them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there's basically like a montage of they're interviewing flat earthers, and they like all of them. And these are like 48, 52-year-old men and women are all talking about how they've lost all their family and friends. They're all divorced. They all and it's actually genuinely made me feel super bad.
Yeah.
And kind of want to reevaluate how I approach these conversations going forward, because again, it's really easy to forget that they're people, and they lack the critical faculties, the critical thinking skills to sort of reconcile the cognitive dissonance that's in their head.
Yeah.
And they lack the science principles and whatever, but like they're still people, man.
For sure.
And yeah,
I think we've talked about this before, but I haven't watched a lot of like debates or stuff like that with flat earthers, but I have watched a bit of content about people who have basically taken the 10,000 foot view approach to like, why do people believe in conspiracy theories, or why that the earth is flat? Like, what do we think potentially drives people to them? And like, at a high enough view, if we start talking about, because like we largely talk about such small time scales, when you think about humanity and how long humans have been here, or you know what I mean, even recorded history, you know, we're normally talking about the past 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, but it's like, when you think about how long we, even as like human beings, have just either been able to know every bit of knowledge there was to know, almost, like, you know what I mean? Each person could almost know everything you needed to know, because all of knowledge was largely just like how to survive. For so long, that was like what humanity was. And when you think about how relative fast we've just blitzed past that to a point in time where like, you can't know everything about anything. Like we just know so much. There's so much knowledge about so many fields and so many things. And when you think about how relatively a short of a time that was, and you think about it from that high level of a view, it's like, okay, it kind of makes sense that there would be people of the billions of us that just can't really reconcile that there's just inherently, to exist in this society, a whole lot of seemingly really important stuff I just have to trust, and I'm never going to be able to prove it. Like, I'm never going to be able to like go out and I'm never, man, we were talking about this in Tarkov, where we were talking about this with the ammo and the ballistic values, where it's like, given to the heat death of the universe, I could never in the game reverse engineer the formulas that they use. It's too convoluted. There's not enough time. Similarly, like just me, Jesse, I'm not of that smart a dude. I couldn't just go outside and end up with the same calculations for gravity. Like, I'm just too dumb to do that. And there's so many things we just have to believe and trust other people, medical, health, science, physics. You know what I mean? That it's just like at a high enough level view, it kind of makes sense that you're like, man, we blitzed through that. I can understand that some people have a hard time with that. Have a hard time just accepting that there's all this stuff that I'm just supposed to trust. I'm never going to be able to figure it out for myself. And people that would rather just believe what they can see. You know what I mean? It's not that surprising. When you hone in on an individual thing, like you believe the earth is flat, you're crazy. But when you take it at a high enough view, you get to a point where like, yeah, I guess some people are going to resist this. You know what I mean? I don't know. But
yeah, man, I actually had one of those moments yesterday. I'm still like a moment where I'm like, I feel like I've just figured out something.
Yeah.
Like if this thing hadn't been known yet, this like line of reasoning would have been a eureka moment.
Yeah.
Kind of, but I haven't fully fleshed out. I started like write it down and then like I had to fucking shower and like go do shit.
Yeah.
But so you know the idea of time dilation, right?
Yes. Where basically
either based on gravity or based on relative speed, time moves different.
Yeah.
Time moves at different speeds, okay? And I started to think, here's a thought experiment, okay? Imagine you had a telescope that with a camera on it that you could zoom in infinitely far, okay? And you could see 1,000,000 light years away on a planet, and there was a little alien guy sitting there holding like a digital clock, right?
Yeah.
That showed like the seconds ticking down, okay? And he just stood there. He'd stand there for the next 10 million years, okay?
Yeah.
Now imagine, so what you're seeing, first of all, he's 1,000,000 light years away. So what you are seeing was him standing there 1,000,000 years ago.
1,000,000 years ago, right? Yeah.
Because it's taken that far for the light. So okay, so you're looking and you see it ticking 1 second per second, right? Well, now let's say, all right, I'm gonna go there, and you get in your ship and you fly half the speed of light.
Yeah, it's gonna take you 2,000,000 years to get there, right?
It's gonna take you 2,000,000 years. Now, 2,000,000 years, you're gonna get there. But think about it. When you get there, you're going to get there to the point where now what you see is in sync.
Oh.
So what you're going to see is 3,000,000 years in time.
Yeah.
You're going to see it slowed down.
Uh-huh.
Wait. Fuck. This is where I get a little confused.
Because you're traveling towards it?
Because you are, it's going to take you at half the speed of light. It's going to take you 2,000,000 years to get there. So you're seeing 2,000,000 years over. No, seriously, you're seeing 3,000,000 years over the course of 2,000,000 years. So you are seeing it at 50% sped up.
Yeah.
So you're going to see him. The timer's going to be ticking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at whatever.
Yep.
So that right there is like time dilation.
Yep.
So like somehow
like
I was just like,
you,
wait.
yeah, you got there. You were like, if I know,
the time has to move differently relative to speed. What the fuck? And I started to be like, wait, if you're going at the speed of light, which is impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
all right. No, I love this stuff. I do. Oh, so here's a question. Going back to what we were talking about, do you think that do you think commercial space travel will be available in our lifetime? Do you think before I die, I'll be able to buy a ticket to the moon?
To the moon? No. To get into like low Earth orbit, yes.
Okay.
I mean, you can already do that for like $100,000 or whatever.
Yeah, but I want to go higher than we can go right now. I want to go to the moon. I want to step
going to the moon
foot
is oofa doofa.
on
That's
something.
That's a different ball game altogether.
Why?
A number of reasons. One, just the what you need to think of as like an engineer, the number of failure points increases massively because one, it takes like 3 days to get there.
Yeah.
So now they need to not fuck something up over the course of like a week.
Yeah.
As opposed to go up and you spend an hour and then come back down.
Yeah,
now you're talking 2 hours.
For sure.
So a week versus 2 hours.
Yeah.
Without you going crazy and like pulling a lever or a hatch or something, you know, like I don't know, right? But then also what they would need to do to make something, the risks associated with taking off.
Yeah.
And then landing on the moon and then taking back off.
Yeah.
Is also like another,
For sure.
It's like another high risk thing, right? No one dies in Kerbal Space Program in space. They die when they crash into the thing they're fucking landing on, or they blow up taking off from the thing that they And then also there's all of the risks associated with like then they need fucking airlocks and like you need to put on a suit and not fuck that up. Think about when you go indoor skydiving.
Yeah.
To put on your elbow pads and your helmet and your earplugs is like no one ever gets it right.
Yeah.
And the consequences of that is your ears are going to be ringing for a little bit. Not everyone dies.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. It's.
I need it. I can't go. Either we need to be able to like. Well, because here's the thing, right?
As long as the Edge Runners, that song from Edge Runners plays.
Yeah. Oh my.
I would cry,
God, bro.
I would cry.
I need Outro by M83 playing when I land on the moon.
I need it when I'm taking off.
Okay, true. And then Edge Runners when we land. I'm very for this. I just like okay, so we landed. When did we go to the moon? The 60s, 70s? 69.
73.
420. Let's go. And then we kind of stopped, and now we're back, right? Isn't it Project Artemis? NASA and SpaceX are like trying to go to the moon and eventually build a place where they can launch off and go to Mars. I know that I'm never going to see Mars. I get that. But like, if we go hard in the paint for like 20, 25 years, like, come on. Like, by then, there's got to be something. I got to be able to buy a ticket to the moon 25 years from now. I'm going to be high 50s, but
maybe like 40 years from now.
Well, okay. Adjacent then, do you think over the next 40 years, we not slow down aging, but kind of, so that I can still be young enough to go to the moon, even if it takes 40 years?
I mean, if you're like, what, 70?
Yeah.
Okay. I think if we've gotten to the point where going to the moon is like a thing you can pay less than $5,000 for a ticket for, right? Then the fact that you would be 70 now wouldn't prevent you from.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Tangentially
like
or whatever.
Can go on a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah.
Then you can.
Do you think we will live longer or slow down aging? I don't know what the right way to put it is. I don't think we're going to reach immortality, but do you think there will come to a point?
Increase our the average life expectancy.
And to a point where like an 80-year-old isn't a shriveled shell of a man that everybody goes, oh, you should be in a home. Like, do you think that at some point an 80-year-old will be like, not young, but like an 80-year-old could be like a 50-year-old?
Oh yeah, in 100 years. We're past that point. Your only saving grace is that you don't go outside like me. Mm-hmm. So we're not getting constantly fucking bombarded with all the UV rays that cause our skin to like shrivel up and shit.
We got it. I'm just gonna be so pissed if I barely miss it. You know what I mean? Like if my kid gets to go to the moon and I don't, I'm gonna be pissed. Like I know that I'm not going to Mars. I know we're not going to see interstellar travel, but like long. But I need this, Veritas, and I need the science to back it up. I need to set foot on an entity outside of this Earth. I just need it.
Is there a significant difference for you setting foot on the moon versus seeing the entire, like looking out a window and seeing the entire Earth from space? To me, there's like that's like 92% is seeing the whole Earth from space, and then the moon is like 100%.
I really think to me it's like 70-30. Like it is over halfway there. Don't I will take that. If at any point if at any point I can look out of the window and see the Earth, I will take that opportunity and I will be a changed man. But to me there really is like I want to be standing on some place that's not Earth. I don't even know why it's so important to me, but I want it so bad.
I'll do a standing backflip, like, and they're gonna be like, okay, listen, no backflips. Like, you imagine the guy, you're filling out the fucking waiver.
Yeah, please keep your hands and feet inside the rover at all times.
It's gonna be a 17-year-old girl with like an AC/DC t-shirt that's like on her phone, like not wanting to, like, okay, everybody have their seatbelts on. Okay, like whatever, and open the airlock. Like, remember, everybody, no backflips. I'm gonna be like, bitch, fucking do a back tuck, hit my knee in a rock, and
oh god, and just like in the movies, the pressure of your suit is gonna push you farther away. And we're just gonna like hear super muffled screams over the comms as Veritas just goes out into the black. What a way to go. What a way to go.
I mean,
isn't that better? Isn't that better than dying of old age?
I mean, I don't know about that. Have you seen Total Recall?
No.
You've never seen Total Recall?
No. The old one or the new one?
Wait, okay, this might be a stupid question. Did they do?
Yeah, they remade it with like Colin Farrell or something.
Will Ferrell?
No.
Bro, I can't believe it. Wait.
I know of Total Recall.
Have you seen the scene I'm talking about?
Maybe.
1 second. Mars. No.
They had the 3 boobs lady in the new one.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
That does remind me that I have seen the new one. Is this Mars? Copyright strike incoming. Oh, he's... Yeah. Nice.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. Classic.
Yeah,
Classic.
Now, the better was with Arnold. I think Arnold has like a spoiler alert. The movie's 9 billion years old. Fuck off. He has like a nightmare. And it's my Arnold impression, everyone.
I just want to go to space, man. Come on.
Yeah, you're going to want to until the first accident where it's like 72 elderly men died in a crazy accident. Because one fucking guy pulled the wrong lever. And
I mean, here's the point. Here's the thing. If I get to the age of like 75 and I can't...
It'd be a miracle if I get that.
And that's what I'm saying. If I get to that age and it's not safe to go yet, I'll just want to go if it's unsafe. Like at that age,
sign the waiver.
I'd just rather die trying. At 40 or at 50, I wouldn't want to go when it's unsafe. At 75, it's like, this is my only chance.
Yeah, man.
I'll go out in a fiery ball.
We'll go together.
And become space dust. Let's do it.
Fiery ball.
Yes. Or not. Or I land on the moon and I'm fine. Man, I really thought, I don't know anything about science. I really thought the moon was like, I thought when I asked, you were going to be like, yeah, we're going to be on the moon in 15 years. Damn it.
I'm still like, I still feel like every fucking rocket launcher is a goddamn coin flip, whether it's just going to explode.
Yeah.
I'm still scarred from the fucking Challenger, dude. Well,
Yeah.
I remember because there was the teacher, Christy McAuliffe, on the Challenger. She was from New Hampshire. She was from very close to where I grew up. So I just remember it being like so fucking excited.
Yeah.
Well, not being so excited because I'm fairly certain that actually happened before I was born. When was that? But I guess I remember like hearing about it when I was 86. Yeah, so it was before I was born. But just like hearing about it being like, oh shit, like it's just close to home when it's like this nice lady from basically down the road.
Yeah.
And then you realize that whole thing. Do you know like what?
No.
The cause of that was literally an O-ring. One rubber O-ring is why they all died.
How?
Because it had to do with, and I'm sure like if you work at NASA or whatever, don't fucking tweet at me. I'm good. I'm simplifying this, okay? Actually, if you work at NASA and you're listening to this,
tweet at
me, please. But effectively, it had to do with like the temperature. The O-ring, it basically cracked because I think of the temperature differences. Like it was too cold, and because of that. Oh God! Why did Challenger
chain reaction
explode? Failure of the primary and secondary redundant O-ring seals in a joint in the shuttle's right rocket booster. The record low temperatures on the morning of the launch had stiffened the O-rings, reducing their ability to seal the joints. So I think like there's like multiple sealed parts of the engine that like need to
stay sealed,
mix, and they basically mixed and exploded. And it's just a cascading thing. Yeah, I mean, you're literally like...
Yeah, I mean, you're strapped to 70%. 90% of the mass is just the rocket fuel. Like, it's if anything goes wrong, it's GG's.
This is if it's pointed like this, it's a rocket. If it's pointed like this, it's a missile.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's woof. An O-ring, dude.
Yeah, so, I don't feel like... I've seen enough Final Destination movies, so every time I go on a like I used to go on rides like all the time, and now every time I'm like I'm just 3 inches away and a rubber O-ring away from dying,
dude,
on this thing.
I think about that all the time. Like, it's funny because like when people say when you have kids you become less when you become more risk averse, and it's funny because it's like you think that it's because you want to be there for your kids, but it's really because having kids just pulls the wool from your eyes, where you see everything is just 1 inch away from total disaster at all times. Everything you're doing is just one thing failing away from everybody dead. And so it's like, I don't want to go on roller coasters because I don't want to die, not because I want to be around for my kids, because I'm just like, I see it. One thing slips and it all falls apart. Everything plummets. Not that I don't want to be around for my kids, but I'm just saying it just shows you when you're just watching them run around and you're like, everything could kill everyone at all times. How do we live? How do we live as a society?
And speaking of, real quick, I wanted to get this out of the way because this line item has been on this list forever. I wanted to mention. I had, for the first time ever, my meeting somebody I was excited to meet when I went to that Texas event with all the content creators and the whole shooting thing. That was
the whole like you guys all went shooting.
Yeah,
not like the shooting.
Oh
no.
I'm not
drop
gonna
the name.
Not gonna
drop the name.
No way.
It was Velian, wasn't? You can tell me.
Yeah, the person has like a zillion subscribers on YouTube, and basically, like the way these things go down, right, is you're standing there, you're in like a group of like 3 or 4 people, 5, 6 people, you're all standing in a sort, and someone comes up and is like, hey, they interrupt, and they're just like, hey, just wanted to say, big fan, whatever. Like, I saw this like 27,000 times while I was here, right? I did it to some other people. Like I said, Call Me Chris.
Yeah.
Like a YouTuber, and I love her content. She was like, that was the most humbling. Like, she was so awesome and so down to earth. But there was one person, and it's not Garand Thumb.
Peep the DM.
No, they're not. They aren't like a gun.
Oh, okay.
And I went over, and I started to like talk to them, and this was their facial expression the whole time when I went up and basically was like, hey, really love your content. It's like inspired some of this. It was this.
Oh.
And then I was like, yeah, anyway, man, I'll like whatever. And he's like, and then continued talking. Didn't say a fucking word. Just nodded his head. Looked disgusted the whole time.
Yikes.
Like, damn, what a dick.
Yeah, that's like,
the fuck?
Like, low key, I would rather that person just be like, yo, please back off. Like, I'm talking to someone. Like, you know what I mean? The in between, it's like, be a dick. But like it's just like, okay, I'll just go jump off a bridge. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, that look is just like, oof.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It was someone who, like, they were literally sitting with one person, and it was someone who's like a friend of theirs that, like, it's not like I was interrupting them meeting someone that they were. It was like a friend of theirs that's like beneath them. That, like, I think they were just like, yeah. They just looked at me.
I hate it that you love me and enjoy my content.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. He just was kind of like, cool, man. And then I was, instantly like read the room when I was like, hey, man, really like your content. And I'm like, so all right, anyway, like, I'll let you go, man. Have a good one. And he just sort of turned and continued the conversation. It was like, wow, what a fucking dick, dude.
Yikes. And you know what sucks is that, like, when we talk about all the time, like when we're at TwitchCon and stuff like that we don't want people to feel that way, but those are the experiences that prevent people from like going around. But it's like, oh, dude, that's a yikes. That is yikers.
A bunch of people in chat were asking one peg. It wasn't one peg. It wasn't Fellion. And it wasn't Donut Operator. Donut Operator.
It was one peg.
Donut Operator is super fucking chill, super nice. Yeah, really, really nice guy.
Damn.
Yeah, no.
Damn.
Yeah. And Donut's the one that invited me.
True.
Did I unsubscribe? No, because, like, listen, I don't stop listening to Kanye West because he's a crazy fucking douchebag.
Wow.
You can separate.
Wow. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Kanye isn't out of his goddamn mind. I separate the content from the creator.
Listen, I don't stop listening to Alex Jones just because he.
Listen, if Alex Jones if he put out good content. Yeah.
If he put out some bangers every once in a while, come on. I'm just kidding. I don't listen to Alex Jones, please. Okay. All right. God, that went off the rails so fast. Okay. Woo. What else do we have here? Dude, not a whole lot is going on. I'm in the gaming world. I know you've been playing Power Wash, or no, you've been playing the lawnmower one.
Yeah, I was sick of power washing the same like 2-bedroom house for the 17th time. So now I'm just mowing the same fucking house's lawn.
Yep. with progressively more expensive lawnmowers.
Yeah, and right now I have all the lawnmowers basically, so
Damn.
now I just gotta get my reputation higher, I think, and it unlocks more levels. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But you can hire employees, okay? And
Okay.
I have a couple of different employees, but I started off. Well, you start off with none, then I hired one, then I hired a second one, and one of them's like a professional. Like they have like a ranking, and you can like train them or whatever, like the professional guy. And then there was one guy who's like an amateur dude.
Okay.
The amateur guy took a fucking like a week vacation, came back, took a week vacation instantly, came back, was sick, came back and took a week vacation. I'm like, you're fired, bro. Like, I don't know if this is like on purpose or if it's just a roll of the dice every time. Like, this motherfucker, he sucks at his job and he never works, and you still have to pay him every week.
Damn, that's
Terrible
crazy.
How
many types of games? How many types of games are like this? That's satisfying simulators. Basically, there's Power Wash, there's Lawnmower. I don't know. We talked about this, I think, on the Patreon episode, and I almost arrived to it again by accident, forgetting we had talked about it. I literally almost asked if there's an edging simulator, but I was thinking like edging, not edging. You know what I mean?
Nope.
But is there like how many? Are there more? Like, are there other games that you would play after Lawn Mowing Sim?
So I tried to play Farming Sim. But Farming Sim was like one of the other games I played recently. Oh, it was like City Skylines 2.
Oh yeah.
To where I got so fucking annoyed and bored and frustrated by the tutorial that I'm like, you lost me. Sorry, I'm done playing. Because it's like, bro, they have you. They're like, you walk over to like your machine.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a nice square plot, right? And I want to like whatever, till the thing in like a nice row and a nice row, like till the soil, like Farmville-esque.
Yeah.
You know, like turn the light brown to like a nice rich dark brown in like perfect rows, you know?
Yeah.
You drive one length of the thing, and then it tells you to stop and get off and to put like your hireling to like do it for you. And then it makes you walk all the way over, and it's like, well, now you got a seed. And you do the same thing. You fucking get in the thing, connect the whatever thing, drive one row of a big rectangle, one row, and it's like, all right, now have your guy finish it. And then you do that like 5 times, and then it's like, okay, cool. Well, now you collected the harvest. Okay. Yeah. You need to go sell your stuff. And you drive your tractor at 6 miles an hour, like 4 miles to sell it. So you're just like just over the road, and there's just nothing there but other farms and shit, and you're like, I'm so fucking bored. Like, wait, this is a tutorial. Like, you lost me.
Yeah,
sorry.
Oof.
It got to the point where I'm like, there's all these roads, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can just straight line over the fucking, like, through the water. Like, I'm not gonna follow the road. I'm just gonna go straight to the Ugh. Yeah, so but there's another game that someone mentioned that I want to check out, which was Viscera Cleanup Detail.
Viscera.
Yeah, it's like I think the idea is basically you're asked to, like, you show up and it's like, okay, there was like an alien attack or like a axe murderer or something. I think maybe it's all like sci-fi. But like, imagine if like, you know, like a game like Alien Isolation or whatever, you run around and there's aliens killing all the people and whatever. Imagine if it was like, you're the guy that gets hired to come in to like clean up the laboratory after this happens.
You said Viscera, and my mind immediately, I was going to ask, is there a game that's like, what are those people called, but in real life, that like clean up the freaking like that? That's
crime scenes or whatever.
Yeah, I'm surprised there isn't like a crime scene cleanup game.
I mean, it's
with all the, you have to use like all the right chemicals and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like.
But just with aliens?
I think so, yeah. Here. I can pull up some of the fucking. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely very sci-fi.
Yeah, it's just all the bodies. Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Yep. Yep.
some shit went down
Yep.
here. So I don't know. I've been meaning to look into. I
Space
don't know how.
mop.
I don't know how satisfying
Yeah.
this is to play, but yeah, I don't know. What I would love. What I would love is like I would do like window cleaning fucking simulator,
Oh.
like a squeegee.
Yeah.
I need to. What I need, all I need, is give me a solid, uh, anything, and let me do like remove, like
Yep.
just nice rows, straight lines, whatever,
Dude, how is there
That's
not
all
like a skyscraper? Like you work your way down doing the windows? Oh man.
and there's like wind, and you need to like you buy
Yeah,
suction
yeah,
cups
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever the fuck, right? And you upgrade your squeegee.
Yeah.
And
Dude, vacuum game? Bro, have you seen the
oh yeah, carpet cleaning simulator. I would absolutely.
Yeah. Have you seen the apps like the Apple Vision Pro where it's like they put the coins,
Augmented reality.
yeah, the coins where you vacuum to make it a game? I thought that was funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I gotta find some more games.
Yeah.
Like that, games like power washing. I guess there's like there's also like a VR power washing sim, lawnmower sim. How I saw there was one called House Flipper, but it was like it didn't look satisfying at all. It was like you walk over and like you like click on the desk and it like cleans up some shit, but it's like not it like doesn't have the nice
Yeah.
Master of Pottery. I have to look at gas station simulator, virtual building blocks, cooking simulator. No, train. No, God. This is like games just like power washing simulator. Just because it's a simulator doesn't mean it's the same. You have to like, yeah. Oh my God, there's a Reddit on the power washing simulator, a Reddit post where it's like similar games, and it emphasizes in the title like the relaxing, like satisfying part. Which is exactly what I was fucking trying to. Car mechanic simulator? No, God almighty.
Yeah. Because there's simulator and then there's satisfying. You know what I mean? I think they get conflated where it's like, oh, just car mechanic sim. It's like, no, but I understand that, and I can understand why that would be fun to some people. But what you're looking for is like the satisfying nature of it, the vacuuming, the lawn mowing, the power washing. You know what else? What else is there out there?
Yeah, like bread loaf slicing simulator. Just like, you ever see the videos where it's just like a frozen like blueberry and they just like take a razor blade and open it up and it's just like this deep like purple and like that in a gamified form.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah. I've just been playing Tarkov, and not a whole lot's happening. But before we get into that, before we talk about Tarkov a little bit, I do want to take a quick second and thank the sponsor for this episode of the podcast, and that is HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy and fun. Literally, for dinner tonight, I had the penne rustica. I don't know how to pronounce that word, with a kick. It's one of our favorite ones. It's like cream cheese and garlic butter and penne pasta and asparagus and Roma tomatoes, and it's so freaking good. We've been using HelloFresh for a long time, and the food is really good, and it can help with a lot of things. If you're trying to like save trips to the grocery store, if you're trying to save money, if you're trying to eat better, there's all sorts of ways you can do that. We are definitely in the group of people that, ended up not just going to the grocery store to eat food, but ended up just eating out like 6 days a week, which can get incredibly expensive and also just makes me feel bad. Like it just makes me feel bad. And so it's HelloFresh has been a way to kind of like combine a bunch of those things, eat more vegetables, learn how to cook better, which has been sick, and save money. So it's been pretty sick.
Yeah, it using HelloFresh, it makes you feel better from both angles.
Yeah.
One, because you're actually like making use of your time in a fun
Yeah.
and also like productive way, right? But without having to deal with what ultimately is the downside of, me and my wife, we go to the grocery store and we buy like a bunch of stuff in quantities that we'll never use.
Dude, yes.
That we have to throw out. Like, you buy a head of lettuce. We don't have like 5 kids, right? So
Yeah.
it's like we will use like a third of that head of lettuce max.
Yeah.
Or like,
Before it goes
you
bad,
buy a bunch of vegetables or potatoes or whatever. And it's like, you either have to go every 3 days or you end up buying too much, so
dude, the kicker is always like
just getting exactly what you need.
Yeah.
No waste.
It's always
and
bread
it also
for
proportioned.
us.
Yeah.
You buy like
bread.
you want hamburgers, so you buy it's 8, you use 2, and then the other 6 sit in there for 2 weeks. Like
that's why we freeze all of the bread except hot dog buns, because I can go through 10 hot dog buns in for 4 days or whatever. I just have like 3 for every meal for a week. But yeah, man, it's so putting aside that it's healthy and that it actually tastes good, it's just efficient, man. It's just efficient with what you get.
For sure.
And there's no waste. Yeah.
And it's funny. I mean, it's interesting you said like being effective or like with your time as well. I mean, it's so true, right? Like, and going out to eat isn't terrible. We do it all the time with the kids, but it's funny because today my kids helped me cook. They just like stood there and I would cut up what I need and then I'd give them a little bit and they have the little kid knives and cut it up. And it's like a thing. Like I have enjoyed cooking and it's been cool to do that in the house. And I just don't want to do it if I don't have everything pre-portioned for me. So HelloFresh is great. The convenience factor is very like consumer friendly. There's 15-minute recipes if you're on the go. There's like keto. You can do more protein plus. You can pick. There's like 30 or 40 different recipes every week. You can pick what you want. You can pick how many you want. You can take a week off. It's not like quitting the gym where it takes like 47 confirmations. It's like you can just like skip a week and then come back the next week. It's just like super convenient, super nice. So you can go to HelloFresh.com/podcastfree and use code podcastfree for free breakfast for life. Get 1 free breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/podcastfree with code podcastfree. Thank you so much to HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, for sponsoring this episode.
Oh my god, I forgot all about this.
There was a guy
that was one of the flat earthers that was like, he wouldn't shut up. He literally would not shut up. He wouldn't shut up. There was a period of time where the dude who was like the actual like globe earther, the baller, that was debating him, just took out his earbuds, turned the guy's volume down to 2%, and just started like reading like super chats and whatever, because he streams on YouTube, and just talking, and for like 20 minutes. And you can hear the guy just ranting the entire time. And the way he was ranting, it honestly sounded like a rap. So I was literally like,
oh, while he was like going. Excellent.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need that backing track when I get going on like a Tarkov heater. You gotta hit me with the backing track.
I mean,
I'm the hip hopopotamus, flows that glow like phosphorus popping off the top of this esophagus. I'm not a large water dwelling mammal. Where'd you get that preposterous hypothesis? Did Steve tell you that by chance? Ramzan records.
Hell yeah, dude! Oh, going fuck.
Yep. What were we talking? Tarkov. I'm playing Tarkov. It's been more of the same. Nothing really crazy happening, which is understandable. We just came off the wipe. Just kind of out there living my best life. Getting I think it ended up in my video today and somebody just said it, but I think we talked about that, the moment where like I had like the Taiga and the PKP and I paid the BTR and then they kicked me out and killed me. Did I tell you about that? Yeah. So that's been hilarious. I think the only thing that I've been like thinking about a lot has been, and it's funny because like Clean tweeted it out and then like people have been like asking me about it, but it's a conversation that like we've had before, Clean has had before, other people have had before, but of just like the total number of human being entities in raids should go down. And I think I used to be very against that. And then obviously a lot of the visceral reaction from like the PvPers, some of them, to like Clean's tweet was obviously exactly what you'd expect. Like, let's just make the game offline only or X, Y, or Z. But I think we've talked about this before, and I just like the more that I play and the more that I see some of the issues with the game, the more I really think that like even if you were like a PvP enjoyer, you would have more fun if there were slightly less entities. And when I say entities, I mean player scavs and players. And we had a raid today, right? Spawn and we spawn on streets, and me and Valiant just start running. He was doing something where he was trying to hit the marked rooms, and like he was trying to hit like go through a whole key on the marked rooms. So we started sprinting towards the marked room. It wasn't that we were trying to get into a spawn fight, but we were just going to the marked room to get there before other people did, so he could unlock it. Pretty quickly, we see a 2-man up ahead. Okay, 2-man up ahead. We engage. I kill one. Velian kills one. We think we're chill. We roll up. Third guy in the building, top of the building, boom, drops Velian. I get into a fight, kill the third one. I'm healing up. Hear a fourth one. A scav actually killed the fourth one, which was funny. Then I killed the scav. Then I was like, okay, 4-man down, right? So then I start healing up, topping off my mags because I'm using MP7. I hear snow crunch. Somebody pushed our shots, right? Kill the 5th guy. I get into a fight with him. Kill the 5th guy. So now there's 6 dead PMCs, 5 enemies and Velian, a few scavs dead. And I'm like, sick, okay? Click, click, click. I'm loading, I'm looting. I fall over dead. Just fall over. A player scav spawned inside the building that I was in, or he had to have either spawned inside the building I was in or slow creeped like a mile. Because, you know, the thing, like, people are talking about the bug, I don't know if it's a bug, but if you slow creep, if you're all the way, you make no noise. I don't know if you know that, but, like, right now, if you crouch and you put your movement speed down to 0, you just make no noise, no matter how close or far away. But he would have had to do that.
Which I think should be the case anyway.
I think I don't think it should be the case within, like, a 2-meter range. Like, I think you should be able to hear somebody right in front of you. I do think it's fine when there's, like, a little bit farther away, but because I heard the other guy come up to me, that's how I fought him, the 5th guy. So this player scav either slow creeped the entire like length of a road into the building and up, or he spawned inside. Either way, we were 5 minutes into the raid. I had killed 3 people, a scav killed 1, Velian killed 1, Velian's dead, and I'm just topping off my ammo, right? Like I'm not even full min-max looting yet, and I just literally 7.62 by 51. So he's got like BCP FMJ. He's got a huge gun, spawns in, boom, kills me. And I was thinking about that. I was just like, man, there's no time to do what the game wants you to do after a fight. Like the whole point of the game is like get in a fight and then reap the rewards, like loot. You know what I mean?
Like
survive.
All the different, yeah.
But it's like I used all my mags were half empty. I was hurt. But I had done everything the game had wanted me to do. Right? Like we spawned in, we got into fights. It was cool fights. It was sick, but there's no breath. There's no settle. You know what I mean? It's like it's like there's no rhythm to it. If it's just this energy all the time, like forever. It's funny because the thing is always like, if you don't like it, go play COD. The pacing of Tarkov right now is more like COD than it's ever been, because the pacing of a
60
and then it stays 60 forever. Yeah. That's a COD match, right? You just blah, 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 blah. And that's what it feels like, especially on the maps. It's especially bad on Lighthouse and Streets, because those are the maps everyone wants to play or scav. So, I mean, literally, like whatever server side, the absolute nanosecond that the server goes, okay, we can't allow player scavs in, they're in. They're in full force, and they're chasing shots, right? Because they got nothing to lose. Why not? So it's like, there's no lull. It's just panic nonstop. You spawn in, and there's a 50% chance that if you just look left or right, you're going to find an enemy. we were a squad, they were a squad, we had a third party push us, and it's just like, I was just like, man, if there was if there were 20% less PMCs and like 35 or 40% less player scavs, and there was just room to breathe. I know that the knee-jerk reaction is, well, then I would just get into one fight, or it wouldn't be fun, or PvP is the whole point of the game, it's the end game. But my thought, my hypothesis is, if they made that change without telling anybody, if they tweeted it, they would get crucified for it. If they made the change and didn't tweet it, everybody would just have more fun.
People would be saying the game has felt good lately.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
I
why.
really think so, because there are still plenty of PMCs on the map that if you wanted to push shots, you could still do that. Because here's what basically, this is what I told people. If you spawn and don't get into a fight within the first 30 seconds, that's what the raid would feel like if there were 20% less PMCs. Because if you spawned in and didn't get into a fight in 30 seconds, it is definitely because 3 other squads on the map spawned in, and all 3 of those squads got in fights in the first 30 seconds. Now there are 30% less PMCs already. And that's what a raid would feel like. You know what I mean? It's like, so it would just be, it would help with the spawn issue. It would help with questing. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, but then my kill PMC quests. I was like, once again, I think you'd kill more PMCs if less of your raids were a 50-50 coin flip on if you die off spawn. If you would survive more raids or longer into raids, you would actually maybe have more instances to kill PMCs, which would be nice. And I just think, even if you were a PvP Chad, even if you just wanted to play the game for PvP, I think you would
go play arena.
Because I think that you would actually like it. I think the I'm trying to come up with the perfect analogy here, and I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's like everything, like the absence of the thing is what makes the thing special. You know what I mean? We know that to a certain extent with Tarkov, like death, because when you die and those deaths are so brutal, that's what makes surviving raids better. And so a little bit of variety and a little bit of breathing time between fights would make fights feel better, because you would feel like you could get through the whole loop of like, I got into a fight, I engaged, I survived, I killed the guy, I healed, I repacked, I looted, I moved around, I heard somebody else, and I got into another fight. You'd get the loop. Yeah. But right now it feels like I start a fight, I shoot bullets, and then it's just shooting bullets nonstop until I leave. Or you leave the loot behind, which is like the whole point of the game, is to like loot. I know everyone's like, no, the point of the game is survive. It's like, well, if I go in and shoot ammo, not loot anything, and survive, I'm going to end up with no money because you're shooting bullets and you're never looting. Like the point of the game is to loot and survive. So,
well, okay. For a second, I want to take a step back and think about all of the things, because you were just responding preemptively, to what seemed like 3 different kinds of players.
Probably,
right? There's like
yeah.
the realism Andes, the PvP Andes, and I almost wanna say those are all the same people, and those people are the ones that hear any complaint or criticism and think skill issue. If you don't like it, play a different game, bro. Even though on one hand, they're arguing for realism over here. The moment you argue for something that's realism that is also like a better game design, they'll find a different. They are the nuh-uh skill issue Andes.
Yeah.
And
the Stockholm syndrome.
And I'm like, I'm literally over giving a fuck about what any of them say.
Yeah.
I don't care. Because here's what goes through my head, right? You want to say, man, I really wish there were less PMCs. And you have to fucking caveat that with 75 things, because you know that a bunch of people are going to bring up like these 3 arguments for why that's more casual or why it's easier or why whatever, right? But, and the reason why you have to preempt it is because you think that they think that you haven't considered these obvious fucking things before.
Correct,
so, and if you don't caveat it, well, then you either have to rehash the same arguments you've rehashed a million times, or just insta-dismiss them and then come off like a condescending prick who just thinks you're right. as if you haven't heard all the same. So at this point, it's like I just don't care what those people say anymore, and I'm gonna say what is the right answer, which is there needs to be less PMCs. Full stop.
Yeah.
And
I know that they think those things because we talk about it on stream, and then I get yelled at by those people. And I know it's it's whatever. It's the doofuses. But I mean, I do think it's largely the Stockholm syndrome, and where it's just like, change is bad in any facet of the game. But then, so yeah, I would love that. I would love to try that. I don't know, and it's interesting because I don't know why. It almost happens naturally towards the end of the wipe, right? Like when there are less people playing, it's more likely, maybe not, we don't know obviously how likely, but it's more likely that not every spawn, you know what I mean, gets full. There's way less player scav engagement later in a wipe than early wipe because like towards the end of a wipe, I'm spawning in as a player scav at the 30-minute mark as opposed to the 45-minute mark way more frequently. So it kind of happens naturally, but the problem is it never happens. What I described happens. When it happens, I enjoy the game more, but it's never happening when everyone's playing the game, when there's a lot of attention on the game. So then you get these big content creators that come back or the more casual people that come back, and then they never get that experience. They only get the experience of I spawn, I look to the left, I get shot, I spawn, I look to the left, I get shot, I spawn, I look to the right, I shoot a guy, and then I immediately get shot. Like, they only get that, then they leave, and because they leave, I get that cool experience that I want, which is a little bit more chill. So I wish that they would just do that. They would actually force it, put a little bit less PMCs on the map, and make player scavs spawn in a little bit later, and put a little bit less player scavs on the map, and let everybody enjoy it, and then see what the community felt about it. You know what I mean? Because maybe I'm wrong, whatever. Maybe I want DayZ and you want Call of Duty. Maybe I want Gray Zone and you want whatever. Like, that's fine. But I just wish that we would get that at the beginning of the wipe when everybody's playing. You know what I mean? And like everybody can get that experience. I don't know. Yeah, because like you've said before, a lot of the guys, a lot of the PvP chads are guys that will self-proclaim, say, we'll just play on Columbia 3 and you get no PMCs. And it's like, oh, but they have 100 million rubles, get better at, but it's like, they're the ones going to freaking empty lobbies to farm money. You know what I mean? So yeah, I want a little bit more of the variety there. And I just think it would be, like, I think it would be more fun, and I think you would still die plenty. Like, you would still die plenty. Like, I had somebody the other day telling me that, like, the only reason why I have problems with player scavs is because they're, like, I don't remember what he said. He's like, the only reason you have a problem with them is because they fight you. They just engage you like a PMC does. And I was like, dude, what are you even talking about? It's like, there has to be a logical conclusion to, like, if I can spawn as early as PMCs almost, and if I can spawn with ammo that PMCs can't even get, and everything I had on me is free, like, there comes a point, like, that has to get too far eventually, right? Nobody would like it if you could player scav as often as you wanted and what you spawned in at raid start. Because who wouldn't do that, right? Nobody, you know what I mean? That would be insane. And so what I'm saying is that there's a scale, and I think we're closer to that than we should be, right? Like, I can spawn in with BP or 7.62x51 or 7.62x54R guns, huge guns, and I'm spawning. Streets is a big map. You spawn over there, you get into a fight, you're healing up, you're looting. I spawn in, I can get to the loot before you. And then hold the angle. If you need to get into check 15 for a quest or you want to loot it, I got there first. I hold the angle. You come in and I kill you with my huge gun or 7.62 BP out of an SKS. It's just like at some point I don't have a problem with fighting human players. I have a problem with the fact that they don't have to risk anything, and there's no like con to the pro of like, here's a free kit.
Yeah,
free.
Exactly. If every player scav spawned in with like a fucking blue key card, one, I would be fine fighting them.
Yeah,
and two,
yeah.
They would never fight you.
Yes.
They would instantly fucking leave.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes to show the sort of failure, I guess, in like Yeah, it's
Yeah, where there's no risk. It's a completely free kit. So in a game that's all about being hardcore, you would think that there would be a con to that, which what it used to be and what I thought that it was kind of described as, but maybe I'm wrong there, was you scavenge. You're a scavenger. You show up late to the party, you're late into the raid, and you're scavenging what's left. And you might find some dead PMCs that are unlooted. You might find some unlooted rooms where people, got into a fight and then they decided that they had to leave. Like, it's crazy. I can still walk out of streets with 1,000,000 rubles as a scav, spawning 25 minutes into the raid. Like, if I get a spawn and I spawn 30 minutes left when it starts with 45 or 25 minutes left, I can still walk out with 1,000,000 rubles because the map is so big and there are so many PMCs that at that point, not everything has been looted, because some PMCs looted and left. Some PMCs got in a fight and then got super heavy with PMC gear and then they left. And some people maybe fought the boss, loaded the boss and left. So it's like, I can still walk out of there. So it's not like putting PMC player scavs later in the raid would even necessarily lower the amount of value you could extract. If anything, it would make it easier for you to extract because there would probably be less PMCs to fight you on the map. You know what I mean? So It's not even that it overly diminishes it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that making player scavs spawn in at 30 minutes or like they can't spawn in unless the raid's 15 minutes old wouldn't even be a nerf to them. It would still be a free kit you get every 20 minutes, and there's still hella loot on every map.
Now imagine this. This is kind of, I'm just thinking outside of the box. I haven't thought about whether this is good or not, right? But imagine if player scavs had like the heartbeat sensor from Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
But for dead players.
Oh.
They would instantly go to like the dead players.
Yeah.
Which could still be that might still find you in that case where you're at dorms or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're healing, but like they could spawn you in late. Because the hard part is that if it's so late, what you have is like a bunch of fights that happened with like no way to, on a big map, like no way to know that like a big fight went down in like the basement of like the big house with like the I'm thinking a lighthouse. There's like that massive house with like the basement underneath. As a player scav, I would never go there, but there could have been like a big fight there.
Yeah.
Where I don't know. The idea is kind of silly. But it's not, and I'm not even saying it because I think it needs to be added, but more so around what motivates players and what's problematic versus what's good or whatever.
No, I'm tracking with you. Yeah, you're not saying that player scav should have heartbeat sensor, but it's just, is there a way to incentivize, or kind of like push players around to maybe some more of the hot spots where a fight may have happened or something like that? I don't know. I think there's a lot to it. I think there's simple things that can be done to incentivize the players that are in the raid to stay in the raid longer. A big thing that's, that happens every single wipe is the bosses thing, right? Where people are trying to get their quest done and it's just like such a slog trying to get your boss quest done. But because they start at, 9%, but if they make them 50%, then, Timmy's, newer casual players are just going to get swept left and right by Killa's broken AI. And so I've had the idea for a while now, and I think I've shared it here. It's like, bosses should spawn. There should be like a 10% chance to spawn or 20% chance to spawn at the beginning of the raid. And then if they didn't spawn, a 50% chance to spawn halfway through the raid.
Yeah.
Because then there's an incentive for players to stay around in the raid. And if you incentivize players to stay around in the raid longer and then push the player scavs to spawning in later, well, now you've kind of win-win, because there might actually be players still moving around that you can still engage with, or XYZ, you know what I mean? So I think there's some pretty simple things to do, but I think that it all kind of starts with if we can take the amount of fights that happen in the first 9 minutes of a raid and spread them out over 30 minutes, I think you get a a tastier experience. I think
Yeah, for
even
sure.
if you're a PMC, even if you're a PvP fiend, I think you get a tastier experience. I think you enjoy those fights better and you get to reap the rewards of those fights better. And that might, incentivize you to take an extra risk and take one more fight. Then maybe you die and then maybe you lose all that and the player staff still gets it. Like, it doesn't eliminate any of the things that happen right now. It doesn't eliminate player scavs killing players that are juiced. It doesn't eliminate PvP fights from happening. It doesn't eliminate anything. It just allows some breathing room in between and allows for raids to be a little bit more dynamic than just spawn and then there's just like 4 teams in one place in 30 seconds or less when you just had the matching bug and had to alt F4 and then relog and then requeue, and it's just like, it's crazy. So I think that's like I think if there were less PMCs in my dream world, if there were less PMCs in the raid and less player scavs in the raid, there were more incentives for the players that were alive still to stay in raids longer, and we pushed the player scavs in farther in and added the boss have an additional chance spawn to farther in the raid. You just kind of get this best of both worlds where you really can do whatever you want. You go in, you get a kill, you want to leave, boom, you can leave. You get a quest done, you want to leave, boom, you can leave. You're trying to get a boss kill, stay in for a little bit. Now you're going to be fighting the player scavs, and like, player scavs still have tons. They still retain every single shred of their benefit of the ability to PvP and get other player loot or get just loot and make a bunch of money. But the players have a little bit more breathing room. It just kind of feels like nobody really loses as far as I can tell. So yeah, I don't know. But, I mean,
Agreed.
that's the kind of stuff that I've been like thinking about and talking about more frequently recently with Tarkov. Other than that, mostly the same stuff. I'm trying to think if there's like any noteworthy things or conversations that have happened. I'm getting Lightkeeper. I'm playing a lot of Streets, helping some friends get Kappa. Audio's still really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty
Yeah,
much
I
it.
haven't seen. I guess I haven't really been on Twitter much the last week, so I haven't seen haven't seen anything crazy going on. I did notice there was a big announcement. This was in, I guess, Nice Guy made a video, but this is before that I believe Applezor had talked to some of the dudes in the Tarkov Arena League, like Discord, and they basically posted like a roadmap slightly ahead of time. I don't know if BSG
Yeah, I saw that video. Yeah, I haven't seen anything tweeted from BSG, but I saw Nice Guy did a video.
Did you watch the video?
Yeah,
I
did.
So I didn't see the video, but looking at the list that was posted, it seems like there's a ton of changes. So I'll just like go through real quick. We talked about like the butcher kit, how it's being so AIDS.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they're changing the M61 and M62 that it had, so now it's going to have BCP, FMJ, which either might make it. I still think it's going to be probably very close in power.
I agree
to what it was, but one of the problems with it was M61 and M62 are good enough rounds that pointing center mass at like level 5 armor,
yeah,
it just pop and you're dead, right?
Yep.
Whereas if you have the equivalent round and they're wearing class 6 armor and you aim center mass, you just lose the fight.
Yeah.
So it might make it a little bit more balanced. Actually, I think it could be, yeah. It's one of those things that I'll have to feel to really see.
The thing for me, it's like you need to switch, because the scout kits, like some of the scout kits that have, doesn't the final scout kit, the one that's past the Val with the AK-104, doesn't it have tier 4 armor?
Probably. I don't think they really have high tier armor on scout.
So it's like,
I don't remember off the top of my head though.
BCP FMJ has 35 pen and 83 damage. So it's like the bigger issue wasn't the round. In my opinion, it's the gun. If you're going to have a hex grid and a wrist T, you get an MP5, dude. And the scout gets the SA-58. It's too big of a caliber to be paired with a wrist T and a hex grid.
See, I'm okay with it as long as the gun, if it was like an LMG, right, where you're like,
yeah,
then there's like a trade-off because you sprint and you're like, okay, you want to stop and So that's why I said I wished it had the much longer barrel.
Yeah, just no ergo.
Much worse ergonomics.
Yeah.
I mean, then you run into the problem of everybody will just point fire. Then but that's like a whole different kind of conversation. That's an interesting way to potentially nerf it.
Because they don't do any of the traditional gamey things where like you're louder. You know what I mean? Like a big guy would be louder or his movement speed is that much slower. And all their movement speeds are the same, right? You can't sprint long enough to really run out of stamina. And once you get up to speed, so all the more gamified things were like the big guy with the heavy armor and the LMG. None of those cons.
They're the ones that move the fastest.
Yeah. So none of those cons really exist. And so like in Tarkov land, especially because I think isn't on the list, like they said that they're going to bring some of the armor things, but not all of it. Some of the armor changes.
I literally haven't gotten there.
Because if they bring any amount of the armor changes over, it doesn't matter. 83 damage, you get a collar, you know what I mean? A collarbone shot or an armpit shot, and it's GG's. Like it's still just I guess I'm just saying. I think BCP FMJ is just like not enough to nerf that. In my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I think it'll still. See, here's the thing: is
put ultra nozzles in there.
There are kits that are. I'm fine with like a rock paper scissors kind of design where the top level marksman kit beats the CQB and the CQB beats the marksman and the marksman beats the scout or whatever, right? Like I'm okay with that because if you have, let's say you have like a 35 pen bullet with class 6 and class 5 armor and like a slower fire rate versus something that has like 48 pen with like shooting out of an HK.
Yeah.
Or maybe 60 pen, but with like less damage, shooting out of an HK with class 5 armor, class 5 helmet with like no face shield. Or that seems a lot closer.
Yeah.
Than what we have now, which is that versus something that has all the damage and pen and armor.
Yeah, and armor and movement speed.
So I find them like they're removing one variable, and to me, that's enough to not nerf it into the ground.
True.
It's, they could slam on the brakes. To me, this is pumping the brakes.
Yeah.
And I will only know we might play against it and it might be like, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's functionally the same.
Yeah. But I guess you're right. It's a little bit better to tune the knob a little bit instead of boom.
Yeah. So there's that. Removal of grenades from presets.
Dude, I saw that. I didn't think they would do that. I think it's a W, but I didn't think they would do that.
Well, okay, so wait a minute. But then it says 2 marksman classes with nades. So I think that means they removed grenades from some of the presets. Not they removed, because remember how I basically proposed the idea of get rid of all the nades, make them like spawn on a map, but to get rid of the nade spam. But so I and again, I'm reading this in real time. Like I looked like I had 1 or 2 of the things and was kind of like, man, whatever. I don't give a fuck about Arena right now. So I'm kind of reading this in real time, and I'm like, oh, okay, sick. Until I saw 2 marksman classes with nades, and I think that means that my assumption is that means they removed grenades from some presets.
Interesting.
Which like maybe now it'd be good. Like maybe now, like Butcher shouldn't get nades.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that like marksman classes, like none of them get helmets, only some of them get ears, and none of them got nades. It's like, come on,
Yep.
Okay. More static nade spawns on maps. Okay, cool.
Yep, that makes sense.
Like, cool. That's like literally what I was asking for. So, okay, better matchmaking. Balanced by party size, ARP, and MP, which is gear score.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
I think, here's what I think. If they were to improve what we have now, all that means is that for a massive subset of the people, you have longer queue times.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I have a 5-man queue with a big range in ARP and an unknown range in MP, because it still only can base it on what you've chosen recently, then it has to find you a 4 or 5-man squad with a big range, which is like, if there aren't people playing right now, the maps you selected that are queuing right now in your region, that a 4-man squad with similar gear, similar ARP, potentially thousands of points, all that means is you're just going to wait.
Yeah.
And that was the only benefit. Like, the only good thing that you could get in Arena was if you play with a large group, your queues are instant. Like, literally, dude.
Yeah.
Last week, I'd queue up 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, not in a game. 2 people add to my party. I hit start, boom, game. You've got like, fuck off. Like, why? And the people I was playing with were similar ARP, MP, everything. So it's like, why were you not putting me in the games that
with them? Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see about that. Better ARP gain loss on win rate. We'll see what better means. I hope it's fucking. It should be from 0 to like 10.
Yeah.
Not
plus
12
25
to 25.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
And then this says salty reset patch. I don't know if you're familiar with. There's a kit called a salty kit.
Yeah.
That is like one of the cheapo, maybe even one of the free kits. I forget exactly. But basically what people were doing is they would go into a game choosing the cheapo kit. You do that a few times. You get into a game and on round one person like disconnects. The game gets canceled. Everybody backs out. And now your gear score is now down to shit. You didn't play a game. You didn't lose ARP. You did nothing. You just set your gear score lower. And they do that once or 2 or 3 times. And then you would choose your butcher, go play, and it would put you against. Now, that only works if you're like a D+, because if I do that, what ends up happening is it puts you against, because I'm like a B+ or whatever.
Yeah.
It would put me against D+ with butcher kits.
Yeah.
And I would still be on like a tier 6 or 7 or whatever kit, which like still doesn't win against like.
That's fascinating though. Okay.
So I guess they're doing something to counter that meta.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. They're adding a new map. They're adding the drop down healing because they don't have that whole, like, old,
which is crazy. Yeah.
Which I'm still not going to use. I don't think I have to. It doesn't. Are you choosing where you're healing with that? I never actually used it or looked at it. Is that what you do? You choose where you're healing?
You just hold your heal and scroll wheel, and you scroll wheel to the limb you want to heal. So if you don't want to take your eyes off the fight, your whole body's lit up red. So
you have to base that off of the little.
No, when you hold heal and scroll, the scroll selection shows you the limb and the current HP of each limb. So you get like with a
Does
bar.
It also show you the bleed, like the bleed and the break
and fractures and everything?
Okay, so maybe we'll use that.
So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, no, that actually sounds. I mean, that sounds pretty close to what I had proposed. I think 5 years ago now.
Yeah,
which was essentially you like double tap whatever your med thing is, and it brings up like the comms wheel.
Yes,
it brings that up because like let's say you have your Salewa on 4, right?
Yeah.
And you double tap 4 and it would bring up effectively, like, imagine a full screen size. Now, not totally opaque. It's like a little bit blurry, a little bit dark and blurry for some contrast, but like imagine if your body was just like block and then like a big thorax block.
Yeah.
And then but like screen wide to where like if your head was at 2 HP, you double tap 4 and then like flick your mouse up
to the head, and it would just start.
And it would just instantly dismiss the whole thing and heal. But that seems like a decent middle ground between like what I had proposed.
Yeah,
and,
it's pretty
whatever.
sick.
So I don't like scroll wheel things unless they can get the like sensitivity of the scrolling speed.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What I don't want to do is like scroll too far. I don't know how granular it is or whatever, but yeah, I've never used that in Tarkov, so it'll be interesting to give that a try. So that's like mid-February. They said they're going to have that February 20-ish or whatever. So by March 20-ish, mid-March, they're going to add a deathmatch mode, which I assume is just kind of like a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Which I'm stoked about.
Yeah.
I would love that. I just want to fucking run and gun or whatever. So it says customs. I think that's custom games. So unlock all presets, and there's a chat text box.
Oh yeah, I remember the chat text box. I get that. That's helpful to people that don't have mics. So like that's a good thing.
And for like tournament stuff, like a lot of times you're like, hey, admin, like restart game or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think customs that's what's going to be used for like any of the esports tournament kind of things, or pickup games or scrims or whatever. So yeah, I get it. Clearer radio with less static screeching. Thank Christ.
Oh my God.
Another new map, and then more optimizations like they also put in February. Summer, they're gonna select preset defaults. I don't know what that means. Like maybe that's like, oh wait, only with what the class has. What scope on gun, what side for laser. Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
So I think that means like you can customize the preset, like move shit around.
Yeah, whatever is on this, you can reset where your optic is or where your flashlight is and then save it. That's a humongo W.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. Change hotkeys. Not sure exactly what that means. And what's the VSK 94?
That's it's the SMG that shoots the Val ammo. They added to the game this wipe.
Not in. Oh, I'm thinking the shrimp. I'm thinking the
gotcha. And the SR2.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's not good.
Oh, you know what? I got that in like the Christmas package. I feel like.
Yeah, you did.
And I still haven't used it.
It's not that good.
Damn. Okay. Oh, and then there's an esports section. Rulebook roadmap with dates and locations for 2024. A rulebook preset limit, 1 per preset. Maybe that means like each team can only like you can't have 5 butchers. Like you can't have one healer, 1 tank, 1
DPS. Yeah.
There's 1 Widowmaker, 1 Bastion. Interesting. Okay.
That is interesting.
Start on certain round score. Oh, for customs. So maybe you can like, if you want, maybe. Oh, maybe if like a game like disconnects or something like that, and you're like, we gotta restart. You can
go
start it
at
like 3 to 4 or whatever. Like so, it was 3 to 4 before the servers went down.
That's
or whatever.
fascinating. Yeah.
I'm guessing. Then timeouts, technical, tactical.
I remember that timeouts.
So that's interesting. Cool. Okay, and then esports forum. Don't know what that means. Coming soon. TM. Bug fixing. Priority on vaulting exploits. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Voice chat. Death voice can talk for a limited time after death. So maybe you die. Maybe you can be like, oh, there's 2 people coming down the lane.
Yeah.
Off. Okay. Interesting. In-game. Dedicated tab for scoreboard. You can see when you're alive and you're dead. Boom, dude. Honestly,
that's
like every other bullet point is a thing in my 34 things. Tarkov needs.
Yeah.
These are all
W.
Yeah. Your team always blue, other team always red. Holy fuck, bro.
Oh my God.
Announcer volume even lower. Oh my God, bro. These are all the
Are they fixing the game?
Yeah. Are they doing 15 maps, 7 maps in competitive rotation, 6 game modes?
6 game modes.
I guess so. Resort themed map, prison themed map, 3-month map rotations with map alterations, mimicking
Yo.
Valorant CS.
Prison map.
Don't know what map alterations mimicking. I don't know what that means. So maybe that means that like they'll make changes.
Yeah, to like the lanes or something. So
because
six game modes. That's more than I thought we had. Please give like a bomb defuse one. Like, you know what I mean? Like that'd be huge.
Let's see. Development servers for testing. Oh, great. We got an alpha servers for our alpha game in alpha before it. And the whole thing is a fucking development server for testing. Okay. Skill system. Skills in ranked will be static for everybody. Skills in unranked will be synced to the game and will level up.
Damn.
Huh. I wonder
what the efficiency would be like.
I kind of hope that the skills in ranked are like maxed.
Yeah, they should be. 100%.
Like max them out.
All of them. Every skill.
I don't want to be driving the Mazda Miata.
No.
In competitive mode, I want to be driving the F1 cars. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like I wonder.
Cleanup crew improvements. Believe it when I see it.
Yeah. They leaned into it. Did you see the TikTok they posted, or they posted it to Twitter too? But it was a little short, and it was like Killa, Tagilla, and a few raiders all playing poker, and you could like hear an arena match going on in the background, and then like a buzzer, and they all throw their cards down and get up and grab their helmets, and it's just so funny because like everybody hates that in arena, and they do this thing where they just like lean into it. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, what it should have shown them is Killa puts on his helmet or whatever, and then like Star Trek in the beam me up, they just go, and then they all go in the same like the fly.
Yes.
So like all fucking teleport into the same location and become a human centipede.
Yep.
And then like fucking
dude,
turns into an alien game.
Yeah.
That's the realism, dude. That's
realism.
If you're gonna teleport people into the same location in space time, they're going to have their molecules
discombobulate.
Realism. So armor system, limited mechanics from armor update. I'm hoping. I kind of hope it's like plates, not hitboxes.
That's what I want in Tarkov.
Where like you get hit in the front.
Yeah.
The front plates are like different than the back plate, but
it covers your whole front.
It's the same. Yeah, like something.
That's what
like
I want in
that.
Tarkov, dude.
We'll see. Presets. No plans for smokes. Seems like a massive fucking L there.
Seems like a massive L.
Like
they
smokes
take
are like
4
so
business
integral.
years to bloom. Like at least let me throw it and like maybe smoke off the left lane in next year. Like they couldn't possibly be OP. They couldn't possibly be OP, but they could be useful. So like I don't get it.
Very minor healing balancing for kits. Okay, only very minor.
Very minor. Okay.
I mean, there's a lot that they need to change, but like nobody should have a grizzly. Like one of the HK kit is like unusable because it has a grizzly.
Oh yeah.
Because when you get into a fight in 2 seconds, right? You spawn 2 seconds, you get in the first fight, you win your fight. You have 3 bleeds, a broken arm. It takes a calendar year to heal with just like the grizzly.
Yep.
And like,
that's where the grizzly would be sick if you could just hold 4 and it would just keep healing until you were healed. That's when the grizzly would be sick.
Oh god.
Yeah.
And that's the other annoying thing is that like even if you don't have the heals, now you need to like do it, pay attention to your healing until it's done, and then cancel it because it's just like 25 years of animation with no benefit. So I don't know. So there's that. Almost to the end here. So custom, set the skill levels of all players to custom amount. I mean, everybody will max them out, like max skills for everybody. I mean, that's no reason why. Profile, game history, achievement badges for Season 4 rank. Okay, cool. Whatever. Considering customs coach slot. Interesting. So that would be like a spectator. I think probably like a 6th.
Oh, yes.
Spectator.
Yes. That's when they told me that they were going to allow like free cam stuff. If you set up your own tournament. So that's probably the coach slot where you can like free cam fly around and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then in-game switch sides after X rounds. Okay. And this is all switch sides. Oh, so maybe you get to play like maybe they're considering like it doesn't go back and forth. Maybe it's like 3 rounds on one side,
and then you flip
3 rounds on another side. I kind of like that because it's like you get in a rhythm, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Let's try a strategy. Okay, that didn't work. Let's tweak it a little bit and let's do this. Let's tweak it a little bit and let's do this. You don't get that. It's you're constantly context switching mentally, and it's a little bit
No, that would be cool actually.
Presets, headsets on more presets. I think they like what they should just do is get rid of headsets and just give everyone proper hearing. But
wouldn't that be crazy?
ARP insurance against banned cheaters. So hopefully you get your ARP back if you lost a game against someone who got banned. Every time I log in, I see more. I have like 7 people who I reported that were banned.
Interesting.
It doesn't tell you their name though. So I had to go back in my VODs, and the time is based off of like fucking Moscow time.
Oh yeah.
So it says the 17th when really it was like the day before at like 11 p.m.
Yep.
Or whatever. So I was going back in my VODs trying to figure out like who it was.
That's interesting though. The ARP insurance is kind of cool.
Yep. And so it looks like that's it. So I mean, I think for the most part, massive W's all around.
Yeah.
Maybe in 3 months I'll want to get back into it again.
Yeah, it's like good to know that a lot of that stuff is stuff a lot of people have said they wanted. It's a little sad that it's spread out over such a long amount of time. Some February, some March, some just summer TM. Because it's like, oh man, like if all that stuff came tomorrow, I'd be like excited to hop on. So, but overall W that they're making changes and listening and working on cooking up some other stuff, some other maps, some other game modes. So that's fascinating. I like it. I like it a lot. Hopefully that will, at least some of that stuff will come soon, man. Because I was hoping that like right now, I'd want to go back and play Arena. Like I'm level 49. I have 50 million rubles. My hideout's max. I'm almost at Lightkeeper. This would be like the perfect time to like play Arena for a week or two, then hop back into Tarkov. But largely nothing has changed since launch yet. And so I don't really have a whole lot of motivation to do that. You know what I mean? They've done a few of the like double XP stuff, which I think is cool. But I don't have a whole lot of motivation to do that yet. But hopefully when they add some of this stuff, man, like, dude, give me more game modes. Like a free-for-all would be so much fun. Give me the custom games. I'd run community games. It'd be fun stuff. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the stuff. I didn't really have anything else to talk about.
I think that's mostly it, man.
Oh, super quick little just like content recommendation or something that I saw that I found was funny. There's this I got served this video, and it was the title is I made a new YouTube channel to prove Ludwig wrong, only to go viral. And basically, you know who Ludwig is? Like chess boxing and stuff like that. Ludwig made a video a while back, like a while ago, where he was basically like, YouTube is more skill than luck. And so he created a new channel and like went to like extreme lengths to make sure that it was not attached to him at all. And he uploaded a video and it like got a few 100,000 views or like he set a goal. He wanted this many views and like to grow, and he did the video. And this guy basically, so the YouTuber's name is JHXC64. He basically like called bullcrap and was like, it's luck, my channel is dying, like I've tried everything, and he disagreed with the way Ludwig did some stuff. Anyway, so he chronicles in this video about how even though he disagreed with the video, it inspired him to create a second channel and create different stuff. And his very first video that he posted got like 380,000 views on this new channel. And so so it's fascinating. The video was interesting, hearing him chronicle how he like watched the Ludwig video and then was like, I don't agree, man. Like, my channel is dying and I feel like I'm just getting screwed by the algorithm. But to prove you wrong, I'll do all the things you did, like create a new channel and like create something that I'm super passionate about, make like a video essay, and it's going to get 60 views and I'm going to prove you wrong. And then that ended up getting like 400,000 views. And then he made this video where he was chronicling that. And it's so funny because like at the end, he's like, man, even though I still disagree with some of how Ludwig framed his video, it really just was the nudge I needed to start creating something different. And it's cool to be rewarded for it. Some of my follow-up videos have done really poorly, but some have done okay. And he's like, who knows? Maybe this video will be my first video to get 1 million views. And that video, the one chronicling how he set out to prove Ludwig wrong and proved him right, has 1.3 million views. So it was just like this super fascinating. And his videos are pretty good too. He's only got like 10 or 12 of them now. But I just thought
basically
that to be a fascinating little experiment.
So the takeaway is that if you don't succeed, skill issue.
Yes.
You can never blame the algorithm ever again.
No, and he talked about that where he talked about where like it's, that it's not that simple, but it was just like a cool cosmic coincidence that he needed that nudge to like get out of his rut and create something different, create stuff he was passionate about, and he made a new channel for it, and it just happened to like also kind of hit and be like, oh man, while I don't agree that it's as simple as you're not succeeding because skill issue Lamau, sometimes you do need that little nudge to like get out of your comfort zone or get out of your box, and sometimes that's what. So it was a fascinating little story.
I wonder what was the video. So what was the video about on the second channel?
The first video he did, it was called The Slow Death of YouTube Intros. And it was a little 6-minute video essay about how like videos used to have like channels used to have like really distinct intros to their videos. And now that's gone in favor of just like, the engagement, retention, yada, yada, yada. It was just a little 6-minute thing. And ended up with 384,000 views.
Interesting.
Yeah, just fascinating little tidbits.
I feel like videos. I feel like videos on the YouTube algorithm. Like did he do videos about YouTube before that?
No, he was
on his other channel.
He did it about like a specific game. He was like a niche gamer channel.
Yeah, so it's like if you did that with Spider-Man and Elsa kids content, like that doesn't prove that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not trying to like debunk
what
I'm just saying like for certain things, you have a much higher chance of succeeding.
For sure. And he talks about in there about like that was his first video. It got 300,000 views, but he did like 8 more videos, and some of them got like 1,000 views or 800 views. Like, so he's like, it's not like I did it, and now every video I make that's cool and fun that I want to make crushes. It was just sometimes you need that little nudge to get out of your comfort zone. I have been keeping track. I have been like hardcore checking and keeping track of your video. It's so close to becoming your
what's funny, dude?
number one video.
Looked.
I know. I'm just excited because it's about to eclipse. It's about to be your number one most viewed video of all time, and also probably in a few weeks it'll break the mill.
Yeah, 957.
And your beginner guide is like 970, right?
Yeah.
Such
Yeah,
a just a
it's
fat
definitely
girthy W, dude.
it's definitely slowed down, but
Of course.
it's still on that
How many
upward
views in the past
trajectory.
48 hours? Like when you click on the video and click analytics, normally on the right.
8,800.
Yeah.
So 4,000 a day.
4 to
You know,
5,000 a
if
day.
that's 10 days. You know,
Yep.
still be a couple weeks, I think, but before the end of February.
Yep.
Damn, son. Wait.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta
Yep.
go to videos, and you go to popular. Yeah, it's number 2.
Yep. It's not too far off from number 1.
Damn, I didn't realize that my beginner guide video has done.
Went crazy, dude.
Yeah, wait, what? Did it like take off again recently? Maybe when the wipe hit? How was the wipe?
The 27th of December.
Oh yeah, I'm like I grabbed a random point of I literally grabbed the first random point sort of at the beginning of like a little uptick, and it was December 28th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's at 2,400 views. So it's getting
It's still
a fourth of the amazing. Wait.
Amazing.
Okay, whoa, wait. Someone in chat. I'm so confused. Someone in chat just typed $6,000. Nice. This video's made $6,002. What are you? I was like, am I showing my screen? Where'd you get that number from? My dude.
Is it like first time chatter too? Because then that would be creepy AF.
No, they have 34 messages. They've been following for an hour. Bro, I'm creeped the fuck out. I just know it's the average. Huh. Is that like a million views is like $6,000 for a video that's like
for a gaming video? I don't know.
Yeah, what is that? Huh. Weird. I mean, it must be, right? It's weird when you're looking at something you don't think someone else sees, and then they're like, they fucking reference it, and I'm just like, look behind me.
Yeah,
am I sharing the screen? What the fuck?
That's funny because it wasn't like, oh, that's probably around. It's just like, it was confidence. $6,000, nice. It's like, oh shoot,
$6K per 1,000. Huh? Okay, wait, let me look.
$6 per 1,000.
Sorry, $6 per link. So
that would be your RPM.
Yeah, I mean, so like in my arena video, my latest arena video, it's half of that. 85,000 at that rate would be 500 and something dollars, and I made 214. Yeah. So it's like half. If I look at another video, like let's look at my Starfield, my 2-hour Starfield video. That's at 687,000 times 6. So that would be 4,100. So in this case, I made 5,600. Yeah. So it's like
the longer the video, the higher the RPM.
Depends on length. So maybe that's for like a 45-minute video, which actually it makes sense if it's about an hour, because I think my beginner's guide is around 45 to an hour, in that range. The arena video was like 20-something minutes.
Yeah.
And that Starfield video was like 2 hours.
Yep.
So I guess it's seems like maybe for about an hour.
Yeah.
For 1 million views. I'll look at one more video and see if that applies. So this is a 40-minute video. So 125,000 for a 40-minute video would be 750. Sorry, for an hour would be 750. But this is 40 minutes, so it's 2/3. And what's 750 times 0.66 is about $500, and this made $544. Huh. There you go.
Pretty accurate, like, rule of thumb.
Yeah, interesting.
Look at that. Would you look at that?
Well, wait a minute. Okay, now the last test is the Billy Mitchell video then. 957. Let's just say 1 million views.
4 hours.
4 hours. So that would be $24 per 1,000. Wait.
No. Yeah.
6.
Yeah, but I think it tapers off. I don't think it goes that.
because that would be $24,000.
Yeah.
And this is 14. It's about to hit 14.
I think it
so
tapers off. The longer the video, the better, but I think there's a point of diminishing returns.
Yeah. And I could probably... Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yep.
Huh.
Fascinating.
There you go.
Well, there you go. That's the stuff. That's the news. That's the flat Earth theories that you came to. Sorry, the globe theories, the flat Earth model that you came to see here at the podcast. But thank you guys so much for hanging. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring the episode. And once again, if you want to hear more shenanigans and how Veritas ascended to level 3 Freemasons, then go to patreon.com/thepodcastpod. Go check it out. We do additional episodes. You get access to these episodes earlier and ad-free. You get access to our first 30-ish episodes that we ever did when we were just babies. I think this is episode 190. We're coming up on 200. 200. So thank you guys for hanging, for sticking with us, for listening, and we'll definitely see y'all on the next one.
Adios, amigos.